Hello everyone, I am Daphne. In case we haven't met, I am the founder of the Free at 50 blog and creator of this Facebook group, the Ditching the 9 to 5 community. And I thought in 2023 I would do a few things a little bit differently. And one of the things I decided to jump on after talking to so many people in this group and around entrepreneurship was to talk about a few different kinds of businesses and kinds of things we can do in our next chapter. So, some of us have already started businesses, have already made the decision. Others of us, if you've been using my 6-step checklist, you might be on that first part, the find your why, or the part of, okay, I need to shift my mindset and I need to start thinking about what else I can do, how I can use my skills and have a little bit more time freedom, right? So the decision may not be made. So no matter what stage you're at, I want you to think about this. So even if you are not a blogger and you're not interested in becoming a blogger, I think that it's real important to talk about why a blog can be helpful and then show you how to start one. So as I started off this live saying I want to do things a little bit different in 2023, one of the things that I would like to do is bring on some people that have started some businesses and based on their passions, and talk a little bit in detail about how to start down that path in case it's a path you want to research further. And as you narrow your options and decide, what direction you want to go, which business might be best for you, which lifestyle might be best for you, that you would be able to kind of, see from the inside how people are doing different types of businesses. So I might bring on somebody that, is doing coaching business, maybe a photographer, maybe someone who makes jewelry, using their talent, their skills. And of course, I decided to kick it off with blogging because that's what I do. And again, I want to really be straight with you that I know that blogging isn't for everyone, and I'm not trying to talk people in this group into becoming a blogger. That being said, one thing I did learn when I took the 30-day branded blog challenge, and as I've talked to people over time, is that a blog really is an essential part of every business, especially an online business. If you have a website set up, if you are a photographer, for example, having that section on your website, that part of the website where you talk about photography, you talk about your subjects, you talk about your process. Those are the kinds of things that bring your brand to life, bring you to life in the eyes of customers and potential customers. So that is an example where blogging wouldn't be your primary focus, but it would be something that would definitely enhance your business and set you apart from everyone else. That being said, there's also, just what I did. And what I did before I decided to go all in with blogging was I journaled a little bit. I was writing about my experience, and as I discovered more about blogging and I researched it, I decided to combine that and take what I had written and turn it into a blog. So as I'm starting 2023 with you all, and it's like 6 weeks in, so it's not quite starting when this is being taped, and later for anyone watching it on replay, I really want to share, how to start a blog for anyone, especially if you're not focused on it. But if you are focused on it, this is going to get you there too. But I wanted to simplify it so that no matter what your purpose is, I created that checklist because I basically woke up at like 3 or 4 in the morning one day and I was just thinking about it, and I started scratching it down on paper about the different things that would make it simple so that you could start a blog. Now, starting a blog in 20 minutes doesn't mean that it's a 20-minute thing and then your blog is perfect and up and running, and imperfect action is important anyway. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but what the 20 minutes part of this is if you go to the guides tab and grab that sort of list of action items, and I love using the term take action, and the action items, if you grab those action items, you can definitely organize yourself and do some of those things in 20 minutes and then be to a point where you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I can get going with this. I can have my blog started, right? So The checklist isn't listed as a checklist because there is no specific order. There's kind of an order, right? There are certain things you might have to do before you do other things. Like you might have to determine your topic before you necessarily jump onto GoDaddy and grab your domain name and purchase one. Or maybe not. Maybe you're going to do one of those blogs where it is, you're going to have a website that is just your name, which is a very common and can be a very successful thing. If you look at a couple of bloggers out there like Margaret Bourne, who I refer to a lot, she's margaretbourne.com. She does also have a travel blog, but this is just, one example of being able to go on and purchase a domain, even if you already, if you haven't narrowed it all down. So the things on this list, I'm going to go through them point by point. But again, the last part of it is setting up a take action call with me. I'm not a full-time coach, but what I have discovered with working with people in this group is I'm definitely doing what could be considered coaching calls, coaching type calls. And I love it. I don't want to set up a full-on coaching program, but what I do want to do is take time with you guys, 15, 20 minutes, a half hour, to hone in on whatever you're working on next or deciding what you need to do next. So that is one of the things on this checklist, is to set up a call with me, and I can help you decide which order to do this stuff in, or maybe you're stuck on one part of it. You need to talk it through. Throw spaghetti on the wall, as my old boss Jill used to say, and I quote her consistently. So kind of point by point, but not necessarily in order. You can do several of these things and have it going and have your concept going. So the first thing is write. And you might already be doing that. You might be writing down ideas, thoughts. My friend John the other day was talking about, he's into curing meats and cooking, and he was talking about how he is starting to journal just because he wants to get his thoughts down on his creative process. You might have done that with whatever your hobby or passion is, or maybe you've even started writing down some ideas of, if you haven't left 9-to-5 life yet, what those are going to be. Or maybe you just have stories in your head. I'm sitting in Yorktown right now outside the battlefield, and this is a spot and a source of inspiration for me. I live in Colonial Williamsburg, and honestly, almost every single day, definitely every time I go down there and go into a museum, a trades building, or take a tour, I always have inspiration. And I even have started to write down, just jot down some ideas. When I learned something at the silversmith the other day about currency, I jotted down some ideas. When I take a picture at the museum or of something being done, I've even have an opening to either a book or a chapter, just because as I was walking past one of my favorite homes to look at, I started thinking about somebody walking past that house and what they were thinking. If you have those kinds of notes, if you have a journal, if you have a passion that you're recording your processes and your ideas, you've already started writing. And if you haven't, but you are looking at a business that's even not a blog, you already have content and copy and ideas that are in your head and through your regular work. So jot some of those things down. Get a notebook, get a journal, do it on computer, laptop, your phone. Start writing. Just write. It doesn't have to have a purpose. It doesn't have to have a structure, but get the concepts, the ideas, the stories, whatever it is, write. Okay, so that's number one. The next thing I want to mention is getting the Epic blog. The Epic blog planner is something that I have been promoting, and I guess, when I do Amazon, I get affiliate income as of now. I know they're making some changes with their charity program. They're going to be doing that with affiliate too, I think. But use my link to get the Epic blog planner. It's under $20. So for the investment, you will get a way to start organizing your thoughts in your business, even if it's not a blog business. You can start writing down your goals, going through what your target market is, what you want to get out of it. There's even a section to write down, and it's kickstarted for you. It even lists products you could create, and then has some blank spots. There's a section in there for ideas of collaborating with people. There are calendars in there. So you might say, you can fill in the blanks. There are calendars that don't have numbers in them. So you can buy it in February and start it in February. It doesn't have to start with January. And you can fill in the numbers for February, and you can say, by February 20th, I want to have done at least 2 or 3 things on this checklist. By March 1st, I want to have a take action call with Daphne. Whatever those things are, when you start writing down some goals and ideas, you're going to be surprised at how easy it is to actually take action on those goals and ideas and make them happen. So my second list item is to get the Epic Blog Planner. Now, obviously, if you already have a business planner that you are using, use that. But I still think you should get the Epic Blog Planner because it is really set up not just for blogging, but for business, and in a way that helps you look at content, look at goals, look at branding, look at every aspect, and have a way to organize that. Whether it's blog post ideas, whether it's affiliate links, whether it's products you might want to create, it's all in one place and an easy place to organize it. And if you're like me, you might be color coding. So that's another thing I get, are a bunch of gel pens. So I have different colors for different types of things I do. You can track your social media in there. So, worth the $18, $19, whatever it is, just to sort of have something to reference back to, even if you're not using it full force. So far, write, gather up your writing, record ideas and thoughts, get the Epic Blog Planner, and work on the first few pages, peek through it, play with it a little bit. That, again, is something that you can use no matter what your business is going to be, in my opinion. Number 3, my third thing on the checklist, is sign up for Groove for free. This will literally take you seconds. All you do is use my link, go in, add an email address, and set a password. Seconds. So if you're looking at starting a blog in 20 minutes, you can have the host platform set up in minutes, right? So you can set that up in seconds. Now, I will say use an email address where you don't mind getting a lot of email, because they will constantly, have a marketing newsletter, all the things that are going on with Groove. So even set up an email address. So this is just a side tip. You might want to have Daphne's Groove email at gmail.com or something like that. But sign up for Groove for free. It's a great place to have a blog. That's where mine is. It makes it super easy for people that are non-techie, and if you're techie, you might have fun with it, and you might decide that an extra option for income might even be setting up people's websites on Groove. But there is a specific section called Groove Blog where it is plug and play. You can customize your colors, you can customize your fonts, but you can just type into it, you can pop images into it, and you can even type in meta descriptions and search engine optimization, without going off into this whole other part of blogging, which if you go down the road, you'll definitely learn more about it later, but it makes all of that super easy. So get the Epic Blog Planner, sign up for Groove for free. Jump on GoDaddy or WordPress or Namecheap or any of these others. I have a link to GoDaddy in my checklist. That's where I've bought several domains. It's so easy. And again, it's something that can be done in a couple of minutes. And once you have your credit card in there, if you decide you want another domain, it can be done in seconds. So when you go to GoDaddy.com, at the top of the page, and this is something I don't affiliate for, but you can just go, it's super easy, GoDaddy.com. It'll have a box where you can check if something has been used already, if a name is available. So if you want to create, mine was free at 50, and if you wanted to, lifeafter40.com, you can type in life after 40 and it'll show you if it's already taken. I just made that up. You can do, photosofthewater.com. Anything you want to put in there, it'll show you if it's available, it'll show you the cost. And a lot of times they'll be running these specials where you can purchase at 99 cents a year or $1.99 a year for the domain for the first 2 years or something. So it's really worth it. It's worth grabbing what you want, having them in your back pocket. You can always not renew them if it's something you don't end up using. But if you have an idea, if you want to secure something, definitely jump on there and grab that name. Also, you'll want to hone your brand look and feel. Now, this is not something that would be set up in 20 minutes necessarily, but you'd be surprised how quickly you can put together, especially if you've met somebody. Even in our Facebook group, we have some designers, we have people who might do things in exchange for testimonials. That's what I did. Now, I had my blog already going and I was already using certain colors, but I didn't know about hex numbers. I didn't know about the brand fonts and putting them all on a board. Coming from corporate, I did know about brand book, which is a little bit more comprehensive because we were a large corporation. But having a brand board and your basic hex numbers, which are the numbers that you would share with people when you want the colors to match if they're creating something for you. If you use Canva, Canva has a free level and you can use their templates. You can use templates like I did that I've purchased through marketing bundles. Through the Instagram class I promote, I got templates with that. And all I do is they are shared with you on Canva essentially. And you just open them and you can change colors by popping in colors off your brand board. I know mine by heart right now. And I learned them pretty quick as I was constantly using them. And if you get Canva Pro, you can set up your brand board in there, type everything in so it's all just click, click, click. But it's not just about colors and fonts, it's your whole look and feel. So if you follow me in other places, especially like Instagram or Pinterest, you might see things like coffee splatters or that I talk about coffee a lot. It's even on this Facebook group, you'll see that kind of imagery. It's part of my personality. So when you get to a point where you want to expand on your brand or rein it in and actually come up with your full brand message and your colors, your look, your feel, and have it all streamlined, that's something that, of course, would not just be on your blog, but it would extend throughout your brand. So as you create social media accounts, which is actually next on my list, as you collaborate with other people, if you do events, having your brand recognizable is really important. So I'm happy to talk with you about that. If that's a level that you want to work on, set up that take action call with me for free. And we can, talk about how you can get to that point. Margaret Bourne has a fantastic book about branding and, your personal brand. I always promote the course I took, and I work closely with Blair Brown. She's a brand strategist, and she has some excellent content on that as part of her Business Launch Lab workshop, which is an overall kind of approach to getting your business set up. But she has a focused branding course, and that focused branding course is encompassed in that. There are so many options. If you want to be connected with a graphic designer or somebody that can help you with that, I'm happy to find people in this group to hook you up with. So those are, really important parts of the long term on your blog. If you're doing your blog as a hobby, if it's not a business, that might not be one of the things you do sooner than later. Setting up social media accounts is going to be something you'll want to do. So you'll have to determine where you want to be. You could test the waters once you get your brand, your logo, whatever, and you could do it in several, and you can see what you enjoy the most. There are some free courses. There are some courses I recommend if you've decided you want to focus on something specific, whether it's creating a Facebook group like I have, having a business Facebook page, if it's having an Instagram account that is, your focus for your brand and your blog and your business. There's a lot more to it but you can start just kind of playing around with it, putting it out there. but I definitely work with my business coach, Tegan, who I've mentioned before, and she's been on here, and she's helped me narrow down, as well as utilizing Blair's course, and just over time figuring it out, where my people are, what my message is, and where I want to focus my time and energy as far as social media goes. So that's something too. And before you even create your blog, or even as you're setting all of this up, you could do this today. So here's part of my get started in 20 minutes. Join Facebook groups for bloggers. So I have 2 that I recommend. If you download the checklist, you'll get easy links to them. One is Bold Beginner Bloggers with Anjali. She is amazing, from This Splendid Shambles. I also use her digital blog planner for blog structure, as well as Margaret Bourne's group, which is the Blog It Better Society. I use her ebook. It is open as a reference when I'm doing blog posts and when I'm finalizing and formatting them. So I use a combination of some really fantastic blog coaches resources, but you can do this right now today. Join these 2 Facebook groups. Look for other groups that have a vibe that you connect with, might have an administrator of the group that you connect with, but that is a great place to see how other people are doing it, to check out other people's blogs, and to ask questions about blogging. And lastly, start building your toolkit of resources, which is kind of all of the above. And I can help you with which resources might be best for you one-on-one. Like I said, as a member of this group, I want to connect with you, and I want to make sure that I am helping you. I'm not a coach. I might guide you to one if we talk it through and it seems like that's something you feel like you need, whether it's a blogging coach like Margaret or Anjali, or if it is a business coach like Tegan, a brand strategist like Blair. And there's so many more in this group. I know there are. My friend Nora is fantastic if you're going the coaching route. She has really honed in on her target market, helping people go from corporate to coaching. I could, direct you in so many ways. It just really depends on what your needs are, what your vibe is, what your goals are. But I'm going to close with this, and I actually went over 20 minutes. You can do these things in 20 minutes to start a blog. Get the Epic Blog Planner. Just jump on Amazon and buy it. Sign up for Groove for free. Jump on GoDaddy and purchase a domain. Jump into Blog It Better Society and Bold Beginner Bloggers Facebook groups. And that is 4 things you can do in 20 minutes just to get started right now. As soon as we hang up this call, jump off the live. But definitely download that list and feel free to click the button or send me a direct message, and I'd be happy to do a free call with you just to kind of organize your approach to the list. Start a blog.